Okay, let's use this crazy lighting to talk about a new project that I cast on. Could not resist. Mostly because I don't have any projects really like going right now, and my husband wanted to go out for lunch. It is long past lunch now, but my husband wanted to go out for lunch, so I needed a project to take, and I already had this yarn set aside. I have this yarn, and it's the leftover that I have for making a couple items that I've already videoed, so you should probably know. This is Beautiful You, Lion Brand Beautiful You. It's discontinued. It's in the colorway Zinfandel. So I didn't have much left, but the other yarn that I want to use for this project, I don't have enough to like fulfill the estimated yardage. So I'm thinking that I'm going to make the bottom part this color and do like a couple stripes to fade into this color. This is Dotted Line, also by Lion Brand, and it's also discontinued. This colorway is Blue Thunder. I've seen it crocheted. I got this actually from By Stephanie Aaron, and she has a design done with it. So I've seen it crocheted, but I've not seen it knit. So we'll see how this works up knit. I love it. This is super soft. This is 100% acrylic, and so is the Beautiful You. This is also 100% acrylic, but this Beautiful You is like spun differently, and I'm almost thinking that it might be meant for like crocheting versus knitting, but it is like a cording type texture, and then this one is like a cottony type texture. So also I thought like having this colorway to my face might bring too much red in my face, and I think like this might complement in my face region better. I don't really know. So I thought like maybe start like having the dark on the bottom and then the lighter on the top might work out better. And especially since I have more of this color, then it'd be like kind of like a dipped shirt. I feel like that's the vibe I'm getting. Anyway, the project is Jessie Maed's outline tee. I've wanted to make it for a while, and I got it a while back, and been planning to do it. And I feel like now is the time to cast it on. So I grabbed like these two yarns and grabbed my bag, and apparently I didn't have any freaking progress keepers or stitch markers or anything with me. So I had a Mega Makes Do bag in my bag, and this zipper actually had like a zipper pull, like a little rope for a zipper pull. I need to put it back on here actually. So that's what I used as my beginning of round marker for a little bit. But then I realized as I was stitching that I got my count wrong, and I had been like a few rounds into the ribbing. So I was like, I don't know, 12 stitches off. How did I manage that? Yeah, I feel like that's how I was quite a bit off. So, or maybe it was 11 stitches. Either way, it was like a significant amount. So I took it all apart and redid the ribbing again. And, so I got it going, and then I came home and I switched to my brand new Hello Lavender stitch markers, and I have like little flowers too. I'll show you because I'll be adding those in too when I have to mark it up. But sitting here on my recliner working on it, I already broke one of the wings, this one up here. I did find like the little piece before I lose it again. So I don't know if I'll be able to glue it back on there or what, but I'm a little sad at how fragile it is. This is my first Hello Lavender, and the butterfly is like everything I wanted, which is why I got it. I almost feel like the dimension just makes it more fragile, and I don't feel like I've dinged it up against anything, but it's a bummer. I already broke a wing. It's still beautiful. Anyway, so I did not swatch at all, because this is for fun. So I already know I'm a loose yarny, And also, by the way, these yarns are fine weight 2, and I believe that this calls for, so it's like sport weight. So I believe this calls for fingering weight. So I already knew I'm probably going to be off because of that, because I'm not using the suggested yarn. And then I'm already a loose yarny, so I kind of figured I probably needed to go down. So I went down to I believe 2.75. Yes, 2.75 needles for the ribbing. I don't know what I'm going to do for the body, but it's probably going to be like 2 needle sizes down, just the same. And I mean, these are like 30-inch cords, and then I have 4-inch needles. So, and it calls for like 4 to 6 inches of positive ease. So I do still have like a little bit of bunched on this cord, but for the most part, I feel like I am within that. When we get to the body, I'll be able to measure and see if I am within gauge and how that will probably affect my yardage later. But right now, I'm going to do another inch or another ½ inch of the ribbing, and then I'll start on the body and I'll bring in the other stitch markers. I want to use these stitch markers, so I guess I'm not going to live in fear that I'm going to break the other wing. I just hope that if I do, that I can find the little piece so I can like Frankenstein it. Because I'm sure it'll be noticeable, because I'm like, I need some glasses and some serious glue and tweezers to try to figure out how to line that up. So we'll see how that goes, if I don't lose the piece by then. All right. Yay for just for fun projects. Okay, I think I'm gonna call it a night. I've made quite a bit of progress, even though it doesn't really look like it here, but ribbing is done, and I'm well on my way into the body, which is so cool. Like, you do the ribbing and then like you kind of set up for the drop stitching in the future, and then it's just knitting. I'm just knitting all the body. So I'm gonna knit all of this, but when I get closer to a smaller ball, I want to add in like a couple stripe transitions to switch to the other color. I don't really want like an abrupt switch, like an abrupt color block. So I would like a few stripes to, yeah, switch. Maybe like a 3-2-1 stripe, possibly. I don't know. We'll see as I get to it. But I'm loving that I just get to do stockinette. Like, I'll be making more of these. I am now on the skein, the cake. Did we talk about how cool the twisted rib is? I need to do all my projects as twisted rib. I just always forget. I wished I would have done it right to where I could have done like the one stripe like this, but in red over here. Will y'all stop looking at each other? Okay, like I was saying, I wish that I could have done like the one red stripe up here, but you know, I ended up not having enough. This is all I have here, and I sure am not going back to that. So I think it'll look okay with like a double stripe here, transition. I think it's fine. We're good. Back to knitting. I thought you might find it interesting to see this new knitting backwards technique that I'm doing in place of purling. Excuse my perspective on this video camera, because it's kind of hard to record yourself stitching while laying on the recliner and watching TV. But hey, maybe you're getting a little bit of an idea to want to try it. It's pretty magical. Let's be real. All knitting is magic. But if you're anything like me,
I tend to have tension problems, I guess is what it is with purling, and I end up with these elongated stitches, and it just doesn't look like regular stockinette in the round. But I find that this technique is giving me that look.
Ooh, y'all, I'm a freaking magician. I cannot be bothered. I cannot. My knitting flat is forever changed. Forever. Last night, I was doing my purls, like, because I've split for sleeves, and I was just highly disappointed. And I know that I like create these elongated stitches when I purl, and I've tried so many different ways to correct this. And I think in previous videos I have kind of shared on how I've tried to like double up like tension on my finger, my finger, my working yarn, and I've tried different things. Like last night I tried like having the two different needle sizes. So one that's smaller for when I'm purling, and then one that is the size for whatever I'm using the gauge. And that still was like creating a difference that was obvious from knitting in the round. I have now gotten this worked up, and now I get to like split for like working the left and the right front panels. But it looks just like the body. And you know how I did it? I'm knitting backwards instead of purling. It's the closest I've ever been to knitting English style. I don't know if like when it comes to doing decreasing and stuff, what that's going to be like for learning for me to do it backwards. But this is how I'm doing it for the rest of my life. I'm knitting backwards instead of purling. Do I ever need to purl again in my life? Like, oh my gosh, I just cannot believe how good that it looks. I was so bummed yesterday. So bummed. But now I'm like super stoked again. So this yarn is creating like its own little striping effect for sure, if you didn't like notice. So I feel like it feeds even more into like the striping that I did here. The ribbon keeps on folding up as I'm working it, but I think when I wear it later, it'll be pretty cool. This is not the best sliding with the backlit, but I don't care. I just wanted to come on here and say I'm super freaking stoked how things are going. That's it.
Today is my 6th anniversary with my husband, so I thought I would wear my Shiloh tee by Hooked Hazel. And bonus, maybe it helps with easing my stress of the drop stitch stage on this design. I gotta say, it is so satisfying to see those ladders being made. Are they even called ladders? I don't know. They look like rungs on a ladder, so that's what I'm gonna call it. I loved the process, but also what do I even say about it? Like, you have to kind of be forceful to get the stitches to come apart. I don't know if it's because of this yarn or if it's that way with everybody. And it kind of looks messy after the fact, you'll see later. I don't know. I'm okay with it. For my first go around, I loved it. It is the best feeling when you can see it all come together at the end. You can't not smile.
Correction, you can not smile if you rip a stitch apart. In ribbing or striping, color changing. I have this on like a spare needle, like an 8-inch cord. I say needle, but there's no needles. So it's like a little halter. But there's definitely a lot of ease going on. So, and it's definitely cropped. But yeah, look at that crazy striping. This is absolute magic. Absolute magic, yes. So now I'm gonna start on the back. I'm loving it. Loving it. I will definitely be making more of these. Back panel is a lot of knitting and backwards knitting to length. So why is it that once I get the video going, it's like my rhythm is not near as smooth as it was before? Am I camera shy? I am concerned, like I don't have like a whole lot of yarn left. So I hope that I'm not playing some kind of yarn chicken game. I have like about another inch that I want to do for this back panel. Let's see here. See, I've made it that long. In comparison to the front panel, yeah, you've got like about another inch. So I'm getting a lot of car knitting. I did a little bit while we were watching a movie last night. And we went and had pizza this afternoon, but I didn't do any knitting in there. So it was quick delivery and eating. So I didn't get to it. Yeah. So I guess here I go to more knitting. I hope that I can actually get a vest today. I say a vest, but like the sleeve ribbing is really not much. So I don't imagine that I'll be getting that done today. Maybe tomorrow. So she's done. She is done. I did make a boo-boo. I bathed her in the washer machine. Like, yeah. And I didn't weave in all the ends. They were still out, so I don't know if that was a dangerous thing, but I did end up with a boo-boo here where my ribbing came apart and horrible lighting, but you can tell I just knotted it because I just didn't want to deal with it. I'm glad for it to be done. I just can't seem to figure out how to style this for myself to like myself in it. It is very comfortable though, and I do plan on I'd like to make another one, and I'd like it to be more full length. I'm just not that cropped gal, and I don't think I'm thinking that this yarn down here isn't meant for this, and so it doesn't make like the best ribbing there, and I feel like it curls. And even back here, like I feel like this curls quite a bit there. I didn't do, she had an optional thing where you could pick up around the neckline, and I didn't do any of that, but y'all know I use like every bit of the yarn. So it probably, I could have done better. Like, but the fact that it came out like this, I did not do any swatching, and it fits great, and it does look pretty. I probably will wear this as like some kind of cozy piece at some point, but I don't know. Y'all like it? I'm gonna make it again, no doubt. I loved doing the drop stitch part. I almost want like the tank top too. I don't know. I love this little cap sleeve too though. So I do like the tee. I think I just would be happier if it was more like full length.